Hi there, friends. I am showing up on this video because I want to explain a little bit about inner child healing with some pictures because it's come to my attention that maybe visuals really support people to understand concepts. So, one of the primary things that comes up in my work and sessions is inner child healing. Now, what is inner child healing? So, we can get caught in our loop cycles that go on and tell us stories that we're not good enough, we're not worthy, we're not lovable. And how do you break out of those, right? So, one, sure, positive affirmations and reframing the thought. But what often that negates to do is to connect with the feeling within that feels that way. Because we can't just create transformation from a head-based approach. It has to be complete body, mind, and spirit in order to transform, in order for those thoughts to dissolve, for the felt sense feeling in the body to be neutralized, and for the experiences in the outer world, the law of attraction experiences that keep triggering that wound to change, transform, and shift into something else. So, one of the primary topics that comes up is love, right? Everybody innately just wants to be loved. And how we've been taught in society is to seek that external person to love us because then we feel okay in the world, right? So if we're having a thought around not being loved, lovable, not being enough, it usually connects in with a memory, an experience, a scenario that happened in our childhood that has us disconnect from the essence of who we are to then create a feeling of separateness that has us think that we need to find love outside of ourselves. So I drew up this little diagram. So if we imagine that we're having the thoughts here about I'm not feeling lovable, I'm not feeling enough, they tend to primarily connect in with our stomach. Our stomach in Chinese medicine represents not being enough, not having enough. And then it can affect our auric field. So here I've drawn a little bit of a fuzzy mental auric field, right? Ta-da. So what we need to do is we need to connect in with the feeling of what it feels like to not be loved, not feel enough, feel lonely, feel isolated, and all of those things. And so we feel into the feeling and give it some space, acknowledge that it's there. And this is where the magic happens because you're listening to your body's innate wisdom now. You might feel energy move, you might feel emotional, and what you might see or remember is a memory that might arise. Oh, that reminds me when I was 5 and my mum went to work and I was left at home with the babysitter and I felt all alone. You'll receive some wisdom from your body that will give you an indicator as to why you're feeling the sense of not being loved, enough, alone, and so on and so forth. So we sit in that space and we hear the wisdom that is being shown to us and we feel the feels and we're in a safe space of gentleness and just witnessing what is. And what typically happens is that energy moves. We ask the scenario what it might need. We ask the inner child what they might need. And they give us a response. And usually the response is something like they want attention, they want to be hugged, they just need some form of gentle acknowledgement. And as we spend time with that aspect of self, over some moments, the scenario begins to change. And the child within that has gone from feeling unloved, not worthy, alone, by your witnessing, by your gentle time being with them, their demeanor can begin to change. You might get a visual representation. You might get feelings, colors, or just an inner knowing. And so that then creates the reparenting phase where you're reparenting your inner child. You're walking together to then walk together in the world. What you've been feeling has been projected outwards, where you've sought to find love, affection, attention in your outer world. But really what was happening was this aspect of self, this child part of self, wanted your attention. And now that you've given your attention to them, you can walk together, and it changes your outer world completely. So the next little image I drew is kind of like this. So the thoughts have been cleared. The energy in the stomach has been cleared, and now the energy is flowing directly through the body, through the crown chakra, through the whole body, down through the root chakra, and down to the earth. So now that the thought forms are not busy and scattered, the mental auric field is now clear, which then feels peaceful, connected, loving, all those good vibes, yeah? This is a very, very, very minimal explanation with lots of words, and I hope that it helps to understand dropping that little bit deeper into the body, beyond the mind, to create that change and transformation that connects you with greater love, greater compassion, greater connection that you know is possible. Thanks for your time and watching. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.